New Year's in the Texas Hill Country, besides Old Lang Syne, beer, and every now and then occasional champagne, well, your fireworks on New Year's Eve. That's another Texas tradition. In just 2 days, most of the business for this fireworks stand, which has been open since the 21st of December, will be on New Year's Eve and New Year's night, which is when most of the proceeds will be made. Your fireworks vendors are independently contracted and usually have to stay with the fireworks stands through the time of the season. So we thought it'd be interesting as part of We the People show to come out off of the busy Ranch Road 12, and there's a little bit of water and a little bit of mist in the air, so hopefully that'll bode well to keep the fire danger down so that people can have fun and that a truly small business can operate and provide for people who want to responsibly have fun. And so that's why we came out here tonight to the United Fireworks stand here on Ranch Road 12 and Oakwood Loop just outside of Wimberley. Well, people have a budget that they put in for fireworks, I've found, and especially here in Texas, and it is a tradition. And especially in the rural areas, you know, where it's always been legal to do this, you know, and it just seems to be in the past few years that there's been more concern, and I guess a lot of that has to do with the areas growing up.
The growth coming out.
The growth coming out.
Really grown. Wimberley's starting to. Richard's from this area. He lives over in this area, other side of Wimberley. Look at that in taxes, the tax rates. You know, unless you're working that property, you know, with livestock and stuff like that, it's really hard to keep up with that property.
It is, and so that's why, you know, you split, and you know, the county's developed a different feel. But do you think, you know, with those changes, that's part of it with fireworks, that you know, maybe it's not as much a tradition now, or it's you know, with the folks coming in, or just because more of the folks are in the cities and it's being banned in the city areas?
I think that's a lot of it. I think a lot of it is that there's no place. A lot of, you know, you can go outside the city limits and buy them, but you still don't have a place to shoot them. You know, that's out here. You know, they'll ask me, you know, from subdivision to subdivision. I don't know what each subdivision's rules are. You know, some of them are stricter. You know, what is it, homeowners associations and stuff like that. They have, you know, some bans that they have for their restrictions. But as far as county goes, yeah, you know, a lot of people are under the misunderstanding that a burn ban is a fireworks ban. It's two different things. It's, you know, a burn ban means you can't have an open fire. You can't burn brush. You can't, you know, have open flames. Where a fire ban, the counties don't really have a whole lot of control. The state has more control there. But you just have to be more careful. You can't just, you know, go out there and be crazy, you know, and not pay attention to what you're doing, you know.
Do you think, you know, Bexar County has the fireworks areas that you can go and they have set up for fireworks? Do you think that Hays County, you know, may want to look at that for the future? Would that help or not?
I think if they could find a place, you know, you have to have some type of law enforcement, some type of fire department out there. Charge you know, a minimal fee to let people go out there, let them do it where they're not breaking the law. You know, where it's basically supervised, you know, by law enforcement, by the fire departments. You know, I think it would be a good idea, and basically the fees would probably, you know, make the fees where it would pay for the, you know, the police officers and the firemen to be there. You know, make it where it, you know, it's a wash. That way you don't have the fires. You don't have the danger of so many fires, because there'll be a place for people to have them. You know, a lot of people, you know, they're getting in their 30s, they're having kids, and you know, they grew up doing fireworks. They want to, you know, they want to pass that tradition on to their children. You know, it's like anything in Texas. Texas is real deep in traditions, and you know, fireworks in Texas is 2 times a year. That's the only time you can buy them. basically 1 month a year and 6 months apart, and that's all. That's the only time frame you have.
To be here and stay here with the stand from
Yes,
the time.
I'll stay here with the stand.
And so this is pretty much, now this is, you take the time off from work, or is this a,
I use vacation to do this. I work for a large company in New Braunfels, and I work a weekend shift. So, I mean, I take off 2 weeks, this time of year I take off 2 weeks around the 4th to do it. It's something I've done. I've had this stand personally since 2005. I work for a small company, a small fireworks company, which is the owner's a friend of mine. You know, and it can either be lucrative or it can be you can starve to death doing it. You know?
depending on the year, because that's what we were talking about off camera, was that, you know, with the season, it all depends on the weather, and it all depends on...
I'd say 90% of it's the weather. Like, and right here in Wimberley, it's been really, really dry. It'll help us a lot that it rained a little bit last week. It rained today again. You know, the ground's good and wet. You know, as long as you pay attention, you know, it'll be safe. You know, try to stay up overhead. You know, go with the mortars, go with the stuff, the artillery stuff that goes up high. It's going to dissipate. It's not going to come back down. You're not going to have anything in embers. It's been kind of an enjoyable endeavor. I've done this, like I say, since 2005. And like I say, I've seen a lot of these young kids around here grow up. You know, they come in as small kids, 2, 3 years old, with their mom or their dad, and now they're coming in, and instead of mom and dad picking, they're picking what they like. You know, but mom and dad are still with them. But you know, they've gone from little kids to bigger kids. You know, and a lot of the locals around here, even the grown-ups, are pretty big kids. You know, they're all good people. They like to do their fireworks.
And that's part of the family tradition.
Yes, I do believe you're right. Yes, sir.
Well, thank you for your time tonight, and we encourage everyone to come out here on Ranch Road 12 and stop in and buy your fireworks. And you know, from folks that have been around the area and people that understand Texas traditions. Thank you.
Thank you.